Hello and welcome. I'm Catherine and this is Bill. This
Hi.
is my fiance Bill. And today I wanted to do a video on at the point after when you match with the guy and you start your communication. I want to talk about the do's and the don'ts of what you should do to move that along. So on one of my previous videos, I talked about keeping the exchange back and forth to a minimum. So probably no more than like 5 or 6 exchanges. And the real message here that I want to convey to you is that it's the guy that's has the energy coming towards you. So he'll be asking you, for instance, a question like, do you have any fun plans this weekend? And you can respond with maybe saying 1 or 2 things that you're doing. You have plans to have coffee with a girlfriend, you are going for a bike ride, and then you kind of leave it at that. Or you could maybe ask him if he has any plans. I wouldn't get into the habit of asking too many questions, so keep that to a minimum, but I think that's appropriate because you're trying to exchange with him. And then after about 5 or 6 exchanges back and forth, he should ask for your phone number, or like what Bill did with me, he asked me for coffee. And so I kind of wanted to talk about Bill and his reasoning behind going directly to the coffee, which I think is okay. Um, I would say with my experience, most of the time the guys want to have a conversation first. So do you want to talk about that a little bit, Bill?
Um, yeah, I believe that dating, you got to meet the person in person. I don't like going back and forth, a bunch of texting back and forth and back and forth. I've got a busy life, and there are. I mean, I'm sure it happens the other way too, but there's a lot of women who will just keep you dangling, and if you keep chatting back and forth without asking them out, they could do it forever. And yeah, so I learned to just be direct, ask to meet in person for something very casual, and like a coffee, a drink, or whatever it may be, a little walk or something, and yeah, and a lot of women won't be comfortable with that. They just, so that's just kind of the territory there online. But I know for me personally, I need to meet someone in person. I have no idea, texting's great, but you really don't know them. You can get some insight, but yeah, and a lot of women will say, "Well, I'd like to have a conversation on the phone first," and that's fine. I mean, I'm willing to do that for sure. But I know for me that when I finally came to that point, it got to be more honest, because it was kind of like, "I'm interested in you. Let's see if this has any chance of going somewhere. Let's get together." And so, yeah, I had to learn to be direct, and I would say, like, as far as like my esteem with the whole thing, um, I felt much better about myself when I was more masculine and was direct, and didn't like spend a lot of time chatting online. I I felt much better asking someone out and meeting them in person, and seeing what kind of energy's there, and if there was any
Spark?
spark, or any interest, both ways. And yeah, that's my experience.
Okay, yes. And Bill's way of approach works really well for him, just the way he described it. And I think there's different styles out there, especially with the guys. And I think the guys really want to do what makes you feel comfortable if they're interested in you. So if what makes it more comfortable for you is to have a conversation, then absolutely you can suggest, how about we have a little chat on the phone? That's great. I felt pretty good with Bill, and so I just went straight to coffee. It was early in the morning, and it was just kind of close to my house, and it was easy to do. And I'm of the personality that I like and prefer to meet people and have a conversation face to face versus having it over the phone. So that was just what worked for us, and obviously it was a success.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're gonna have a relationship with someone, hopefully it's face to face.
Yes, absolutely. You will eventually have to get there anyway.
Mm,
I think the point that I want to really emphasize in this video is that you want to get to the point of either conversation on the phone or meeting in person for a drink or coffee. I would not do dinner. Dinner is too formal. It's too face to face. It can just be too intimidating at first. So definitely just keep it to a minimum of like 45 minutes, max of an hour, either coffee or a drink. And then, as I mentioned in another video, we're not extending it. So the drink doesn't turn into dinner and the coffee doesn't turn into an afternoon stroll and have it continue on. You know, we do end it at an hour at max. So going back again to the exchanges, for instance, if the guy, you get a feeling like it's just not progressing, it's totally okay to just respond to one of his questions with a yes, thanks, and then cut it off. And he will have to make the effort to start the momentum going again. And he should be asking you to have a conversation or meet for a drink or something. Don't keep exchanging messages, even if they're brief. Just cut it off altogether. And I don't want you to feel that this is a negative thing. It actually isn't. It's bringing him to make a decision if he wants to ask you out. He has to make that decision. He has to make the decision to ask you for your phone number to make a phone call, or you're going to find out if he's just a time waster. He's a time waster, and it's time to move on.
and the other thing that's a little bit of a warning, I have a friend, I ran into her at a memorial. She told me she was online and she got in these deep, long texting things with this guy, and he told her this heavy story, and she felt empathy for him, and it got super deep, and they went on and on and on and on and on, and she was like feeling this like real connection to the guy, and it was a total scam. It was a total catfish. And
Yeah.
she was really upset, and she got really negative about online dating because of it. So yeah, I would yeah. So a
Yeah,
word
so
of warning.
that's a really good example of what can happen, unfortunately. But what I have been sharing in these messages is you will never get to that point if you do what I say. So there's no exchange of personal information. Everything that you exchange in text is very brief. And you know, you don't want to have something like that happen. And I can understand that if you're new at this, you may feel like the more of a connection that I have with a guy in texting, the better chance I have with getting a first date. That's not true. Um, the way you get to a first date is you're polite, you write concise and proper punctuation in your messages back, and you allow him to come towards you and end it before it gets too deep or any of that stuff. So, all right.
Excellent.
Anything to add?
Great video.
Okay. All right. Well,
Good luck out there. It really is a good positive way to meet people online.
Yes.
And yeah, and Catherine's giving excellent advice. So
Thank
I would
you.
encourage you to listen to what she has to say, and like and subscribe, because
Yes, please
she's
do
trying to
that.
grow the channel. And so awesome. Hope you got some value.
All right. Talk to you then.
Bye.